10 years, 20 trophies, one of the greatest managerial runs in the history of football. And it's over. Pep Guardiola has left Manchester City. And before you go anywhere, before you even think about who replaces him, I want to ask a different question, a more interesting question. What does Pep Guardiola do now? Because this man, at 55 years old, with nothing else to prove at club level, is standing at the most fascinating crossroad of his entire career. I've got a theory actually. I've got several. Let's break it down. First things first, let's start with what we actually know. Because this got confirmed almost the same day as his exit, Pep Guardiola is not walking away from football entirely. Not yet. He's been announced as the global ambassador and technical advisor for the City Football Group, the parent company that owns Manchester City and 10 other clubs across the globe. We're talking New York City FC, Melbourne City, Girona, Palermo, Troy, Yokohama, Bahia, and more. So some people looked at that headline and thought, is that it? The greatest manager of his generation becomes a brand ambassador? And honestly, I think they are missing the point. This isn't a farewell poster job. This is Pep doing what Jurgen Klopp is doing at Red Bull right now, shaping the entire footballing philosophy of a global network. He'll be working on specific projects, advising coaches, evaluating talent pipelines, and helping clubs at every level of CFG play in a style that ultimately benefits Manchester City. Think about it. Savinio came from a CFG club, Girona. The pipeline works, and now Pep is effectively the man who helps design that pipeline across 10 countries. Is it a step down from the dugout? Obviously. But is it boring? Not even close. This man who loves football in a way how it built, how it taught, how it grows. And a global role lets him do that on a scale no single club job ever could. But here is the thing, and this is my main point. This CFG role is the bridge. It's not the destination. It's what Pep does while the world's biggest job relying around him. So let's talk about what those jobs are. Before we get into specific destinations, let's be real about something. Pep Guardiola has been coaching at the absolute elite level for 13 years straight. He took over Barcelona in 2008. He's been going over since. He's only had one proper break, a year in New York City between leaving Barca and joining Bayern München in 2013. In a press conference just before his last game, Pep said clearly, I will not coach for a while. And personally, I believe him. This man is emotionally and mentally exhausted in a way only elite coaches can be. The kind of exhausted you can't fix with 2 weeks holiday. He needs to decompress, watch games from the stands, read, rediscover why he fell in love with the football in the first place. The sabbatical isn't a weakness. For Pep, it's a pattern, it's a strategy. Because when he came back from New York in 2013, he was sharper, hungrier, and more innovative than ever. He went to Bayern and revolutionized the German football. Then he came to City and did what none of us thought was possible. If Pep takes a year off, maybe 18 months, I think he comes back dangerous. The question is, comes back to what? This is the one. This is the road that makes the most sense when you understand who Pep Guardiola actually is. He said it himself years ago. A national team will be my next step. He said he wanted to experience a World Cup, Euros, Copa America. He won everything at the club level, domestically in 3 different countries, and the Champions League. The only box left and ticket is international football. But here is where it gets complicated, because let's look at the map of available jobs right now. England, Thomas Tuchel just signed an extension through Euro 2028. So unless that goes badly, the door's closed. And honestly, With England finally stabilizing after years of chaos, I don't think Pep is working there anytime soon. Brazil. He's been linked with the Seleção for years. He even said back in 2021 that it would be a fantastic team to manage, but Carlo Ancelotti is locked in there until 2030. Ancelotti won't be moved unless something dramatic happens. Spain. His Catalan identity makes this politically impossible and personally unlikely. He's been open about that. Then there is Italy. And this one I keep coming back to because Italy just missed their third consecutive World Cup. Think about that. Three World Cup in a row without qualifying for a nation that has four World Cup titles. It's a catastrophe. Caretaker Silvio Baldini is in charge. The FIGC is desperate. They need a figurehead, someone who can reimagine Italian football from the ground up. And Pep Guardiola loves Italy. He played there for Brescia, then Roma. He speaks the language. He has deep personal and cultural connection to that country. The challenge of rebuilding the Azzurri from the ground up, reshaping their identity, their youth system, their playing style, this is exactly the kind of challenge Pep has always been drawn to. Would it be hard? Absolutely. International management is fundamentally different. Short training windows, squad politics, tournament pressure with no chance for gradual development. But that's precisely what would make it compelling to someone who has already mastered club football. My take, Italy is the dream scenario. It's the job that would test Pep in completely new ways. Now, let me throw you a curveball, and I know this might sound left field, but hear me out. The United Arab Emirates, their owner, Sheikh Mansour, has transformed Manchester City into one of the richest and most successful clubs on the planet. The UAE national team is the unfulfilled ambition hiding in plain sight within the entire City Football Group universe. Imagine Pep Guardiola with the full backing of Sheikh Mansour, with unlimited resources, with access to the entire CFG scouting network, being handed the UAE national team project. Not just for one tournament, but as long-term blueprint design the playing style, rebuild the youth academy system, raise an entire Emirati footballers. It's essentially a nation-building project through football. Now, and this is important, Pep has expressed support for Catalan independence in the past, which creates complex political dynamics around any government adjacent role. So this isn't simple, but in terms of resources, relationships, and the sheer ambition of the project, it checks a lot of boxes for someone who has always wanted to build something, not just manage it. I'll be honest, I almost didn't include this one because Pep himself has basically rolled it out. He said publicly, I'm not going to leave Manchester City and go to another country to do the same thing I am now. But Barcelona, it's not just another club. And that quote was from a few years ago. Here's the reality. Hansi Flick is doing well at Camp Nou right now, so this conversation isn't for today or even next year. But eventually, Pep's DNA is at Barcelona. He played there for over a decade. He learned football there under Johan Cruyff. His coaching philosophy is built on Barca's foundations, and there is a romantic pull to the idea of him going back one day. Older, wiser, with a decade of Premier League innovation behind him to finish what he started. I'm not saying it's likely, I'm saying it's the ending to a career that would feel mythological. So here's where I land. In the immediate term, the CFG ambassador role, he stays connected to football on his own terms, shapes something bigger than any single club. He takes his mental reset at the same time. In the medium term, 18 months to 2 years from now, a national team. My personal pick is Italy. The challenge is right, the culture fits, and the vacancy is real. Long term, I think we haven't seen the last of Pep Guardiola in a dugout. The man is 55. He has 10, maybe 15 more years of coaching in him if he wants them. The world of football hasn't finished with him, and I don't think he's finished with it either. But what do you think? Is Italy the right move? Should he take a UAE project? Is there a job I haven't mentioned that would be perfect for him? Please drop it in the comment. I read everything. If you made it this far, genuinely thank you. This is the kind of conversation I love having, and the fact that you're here for it means everything. Hit the like button if you think Pip has at least one more great chapter in him. Subscribe if you want this kind of deep dive analysis every week or every day. And remember, the best managers don't just win trophies, they change the game. Pep Guardiola changed the game. Whatever he does next, football will be watching. See you in the next one.